Navigating Global Horizons for Higher Education Part 1 by EDU TV. EDU TV with 1 million eyeballs across the globe.
Connecting schools, universities, industries, and corporate houses.
It's a matter of principles by EDU TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed viewers from across the globe, welcome to a groundbreaking program on EDU TV, Navigating Global Horizons. I am Pranav Hakta, the founder of EDU TV, and it is truly an honor to have each one of you join us today. We are privileged to be in the presence of distinguished guests who bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to our platform. Lieutenant General Surendra Kulkarni, the director of Mayo College, Ajmer, is not only an esteemed alumnus of Mayo College, but also a decorated army veteran and a renowned education leader in India. His insights into global education and leadership will undoubtedly enrich our discussion today. In addition, we have the pleasure of being hosted by the illustrious Mrs. Natasha Chopra, the director of TCG, the Chopras Global. Mrs. Chopra and her team have been guiding and counseling students for higher education abroad since 1995. Her expertise in the field is unparalleled, and we are eager to have her lead our discussion as we navigate an intricate landscape of global education. So without further ado, let's warmly welcome Mrs. Natasha Chopra to guide us through the enlightening journey of navigating the global horizons of education. Over to you, Mrs. Chopra, as we embark on this insightful and inspiring program.
Thank you very much for the introductions, Pranav, and and for introducing EduTV to us for this platform. General Kulkarni, what a pleasure to be able to speak to you, given your profile, your background, and how well the school is doing and moving ahead in this education space, which has become very, very competitive, and of course, the platform for India's growth. There's a huge amount of increase that has happened since the borders opened after COVID, of the flux of Indian students wanting to go overseas for education. And the growth is phenomenal. It's, numbers vary from 68% to 75%. So, and primarily it's always been the master's students with a smaller number for the undergraduates. But now what we're seeing is the huge growth in the undergraduate numbers. In fact, the growth has been more in that segment. So we're curious to understand from you, is that what you are seeing in your school? And also, how well prepared are our students for this transition, not only from moving from, a school environment to a university environment, but also of a country environment?
Yeah, thank you very much for this introduction and for your question. I'm delighted to be on this platform. Yes, you're right. Earlier, there was a maxim that undergrad in India and abroad, but things have changed completely for a number of reasons. The first being that everybody understands it is India's century, and India's century will only materialize on a global platform. And therefore, today, our students need to be globally acceptable, globally resilient, and globally, culturally at ease wherever they operate. So hence studying abroad requires preparation, and therefore most good schools have a guidance program. We call it a higher education awareness program, because career guidance is a bad word nowadays, because you don't have to choose career so soon. And one of the advantages of going abroad is that university at the undergrad level provide you with a variety of choices. So you need not have made up your mind when you landed up there. And maybe at the end of the first year or so, or even later, you can take a call on what is it that interests you. Of course, a lot of parents tend to go for well-known universities, irrespective of which course their children do there. But many others prefer to choose either a faculty or a course of their choice. And which universities, because even some of the best universities don't offer all courses. So for a patient, the biggest advantage is that you are interacting with people of diverse populations, of different countries, from different backgrounds. And in the process, it allows you to create a huge network, not only of people, but of ideas and understanding of how things happen where they happen. I think it also allows a child from the Indian context to become far more independent. There is a tendency of Indian parents to have a very high degree of control and monitoring on their children. In Indian eyes, a child never seems to grow up, so to speak.
Yes, we call them helicopter parents.
Yes, and of course, at the same time, what should I say? There are many in the world where there is a large support system around because there's an Indian diaspora around. And therefore, you don't really feel out of place because you will find enough other people of Indian origin or Indians studying abroad or working abroad with whom you can work. The flip side of it is that many of these world-class institutes are now coming to India and offering courses at a fraction of a price. They're offering hybrid courses. You do part of it in India and part of it abroad. And again, for the parents' comfort zone, that they feel it's easier to keep an eye on the child. So these are some of the parameters which people consider, but definitely studying globally or having a global understanding is very, very necessary in today's world.
Yes, thank you for that. One of the things that I'm really trying to understand, you mentioned this as you were speaking, was about the awareness of higher education overseas. Could you be a little bit more specific about what steps you are as a school taking to bring about that awareness? Yeah,
I'd love to share that. See, we start from grade 9. We start creating awareness of what all possibilities, what are the domains which are dominant today, what are the future trends that are emerging in the world, because many of the things that kids in grade 9 feel this is a career I like, then they suddenly find AI has come or something else has come. So there's a rapid shift. So we like to expose them to this from grade 9. And what we do is, we don't believe that they should go to our company as an event or they go for a meeting. We want it to be a process. So we have the career guidance program into the timetable itself. So it runs through the year. And from grade 9 to 12, it runs. Picks up momentum in grades 11 and 12. But that is the time we want them to start focusing their minds. And of course, from grade 9 itself, they are conscious of the idea of really preparing a portfolio.
Right.
They are focused on the idea of narrowing their choices as they go along in some cases. And in some cases, ending their choices as they become more and more aware. And every year we organize a large thing called a Higher Education Awareness Fair. And I'm happy to report that we get about almost double the number of universities of our passing out batch every year, both from India and abroad. So it's a very organized, structured thing. We don't push children to choosing. We only tell them what's on offer and what are the merits and demerits of any such choices that they make. Because each of them has a unique need and we don't want to template them. Of course, alongside in many places, you need to have an LOR and other things to be given. So we educate our also on how to write LOR, because that's very important. It has to be very personalized. You can't have a template on it. For certain places where they go for SAT scores and all, we have a SAT center in our school itself, so kids don't have to go elsewhere. They can take the exam where they are. And of course, on a multiple, we have fortunately a lot of good alumni in India and abroad. So they come and speak about their experiences and what are the nuances involved in actually picking something. So in the last few years, I think we have a fairly comprehensive program going now. Okay.
Just coming back to the the selection you were touching on about that you're offering them the huge variety. Given today's environment, there is such a focus on the STEM, the AI, and in fact now there's more and more recognition of the humanities as well. People are sort of now trying to understanding more and more that, look, humanities are a very important part of the education system. You cannot have AI without the philosophy behind of how to use AI, for example. So I'm keen to understand how you are guiding your students as to what subjects they should be looking at. And is there a direction that, look, the future is with STEM and that's where it should be? How do you guide your students?
See, whether it's STEM or STEAM or even STREAM thrown in, see, we tell them what is on offer. We don't tell them what they should choose. For example, we even have an AI lab. So in the AI lab, we have all the SDGs listed out so that when they take up something, as you rightly said, it must have relevance. It must have certain things to do with society. So any projects that they want to take up, it has to fall within the ambit of solving some small portion of what is aspirational in the SDGs 30. Then the other thing which is equally important is that entrepreneurship is picking up in a big way after the pandemic, when people went online and did various things. So therefore, we encourage entrepreneurship, innovation, experimentation, and of course, like we said, we get many of our people who come and speak to them about entrepreneurship and about how it's not a straight line graph that takes you to success, how all of them have had zigzags a number of times in their life, and what lessons come out of failure, which are not a failure, but are actually a stepping stone to the next level of success. So entrepreneurship is another thing that's picking up in a big way. But an interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary approach is inbuilt into our thing. And in fact, it is a core of our curriculum up to grade 8, where we don't follow any board. So interdisciplinary is absolutely at the heart of our system.
So what are the students choosing at the moment? Are they going more for one particular stream than another? What is your experience from your school?
It fluctuates. I'll tell you why. As you said, there's an increasing interest in subjects like mathematics and STEM-related subjects, because mathematics has now become the fundamental subject for everything in the world. It's a digital world, so it's become a very fundamental subject. So there's an increase in this. We are a school that provides holistic education, a lot of sports facilities, a lot of co-curriculars and all. So therefore, whereas they prefer to go, increasingly there's interest in mathematics and science, they also realized that a combination of subjects which has a mix of something straight out of subjects, something to do with commerce, whether it be accountancy, whether it be business studies, whether it be economics, and also thrown in between are all the humanities subjects like art, history, and other things. Sculpture, for example, is a subject we offer in school. So therefore, we give them the flexibility. Even we have one of them is a CBSE curriculum. But even in that, we give them a wide choice. So we don't restrain them, okay, you're a science. Erstwhile, it used to be science stream, commerce stream, humanities stream. They're not like that. They can pick a combination of subjects they like, and they're welcome to do that. No problem.
And I think that's very encouraging, especially with the NEP as well, because rather than limit students to one stream or the other, actually we need a combination of all three for a holistic development. And it's good to see this coming back after the Brits basically took it all out of our education system. So, well, I think we were given only 10 minutes. And we have done 15 minutes.
Sorry, I think I spoke too much. Is it?
No, you
No.
were wonderful and really enjoyed speaking to you. You have so much knowledge and depth and experience. It would be great to have another conversation with you. And perhaps Pranav can help us organize that, perhaps on other topics. We'd love to get your views. But thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pranav.
Thank you so much, General Kulkarni. I think you have been helping us from so many years now. And really, I'm thankful to you. And thank you, Natasha ma'am, for taking out time for this. And thank you very much. And I think, Natasha ma'am, you and General Kulkarni should meet in person also, ma'am. So that will really help the students, parents, schools across the world. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you so much.
We would be delighted.
Before we sign off, may I take the opportunity to invite Natasha ma'am to my school?
Oh, we would be delighted to come. And we'd also like to reciprocate whenever you're in Delhi, or please make a special trip. We'd love to host you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Level up your future. 12th graders chat with Chancellor Tarundeep Anand of Universal AI University on EDU TV.